Whether you want to call it the showcase of the immortals or the grandest stage of them all, there was no doubt that this year's WrestleMania started off on a tremendous high, delivering solid matches. But with 7 hours of non-stop wrestling, a surprise that made no sense, and one of the worst WrestleMania main events in recent history, it ruined what could have been one of the best Manias in recent times. Nevertheless, there were some shocking moments that took place, leaving us all either emotional, marking out, or just in awe, recounting in our mind, what the F just happened? Here are 9 shocking moments and surprises that happened at WrestleMania 34. Ronda Rousey vs Triple H face-off. Fans really didn't know what to expect from the former UFC Bantamweight champion since her signing with WWE. Was she gonna be a female Brock Lesnar, unstoppable in her tracks? Was she gonna stink up the match and ruin Angle's in-ring return? Many like ourselves had low expectations going into the match, but surprisingly, the match stood out as one of the more exciting matches on the card, and no doubt one of the best mixed tag matches of all time. The fans accepted Rousey, backing her throughout and getting bigger pops than Angle, even breaking out in a yes chant. The best moment out of the match was the pose down with Triple H, and just when he thought it wasn't going to happen, Rousey unloaded on Triple H with a series of strikes, eventually putting him in an armbar, garnering a huge pop and a memorable moment. Seth Rollins becomes a Grand Slam champion. Only few can ever dream of even winning a title in WWE, but a special place in history is reserved to those who have won the WWE or Universal Championship, Intercontinental, United States, and Tag Team Championships to become a Grand Slam champion. Well, in addition to legends such as Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, and fellow Shield team members Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins defeated both The Miz and Finn Balor to become a Grand Slam champion. A Nakamura heel turn. In a rematch of their 2016 Classic in New Japan Pro Wrestling, the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble winner and WWE champion went toe-to-toe at Mania, with the belt on the line. Unfortunately, there was too much hype going into the match, and understandably by the 4th hour of wrestling, the crowd started to die down a little, which was a shame. The beginning of the match didn't help either, with no immediate momentum from either of the two. Thankfully, towards the end, the two managed to gain the attention of the sleepy crowd, with Styles putting away Nakamura with the Styles Clash, unexpectedly retaining the belt. But it was what followed that stood out. Nakamura seemed humble, accepting a loss from his familiar opponent. He hugged Styles and presented him with the belt in a show of respect, before shockingly striking the champion in the groin with a low blow that came straight out of Ric Flair's dirty playbook. As the fans booed the twist, Nakamura hit Styles with his trademark knee to the face outside the ring. Whilst we never thought of Nakamura turning heel, it was a shocking moment and an interesting turn of events, one we are looking forward to see what happens next. There was a heavy amount of blood. Blood is something that is rarely shown in the WWE nowadays. Sometimes of course it can't be helped, and does show up from time to time. However, during the main event bout between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, Lesnar would once again tactically take off his gloves, giving a series of elbow strikes to Reigns' head, much like he did to Orton at 2016 SummerSlam. In the same way, Reigns was busted open, but he obviously had a little help, opening up the cut with a razor, and it seemed he dug a little too deep, as blood was sputtering everywhere. On his arm, the mat, all over Lesnar. With Reigns bleeding so heavily, it was shocking to see such a moment happen in WWE, especially since Reigns is one of the wrestlers chosen to lead this so-called PG era. The Undertaker answered. For weeks the WWE had been teasing a match between John Cena and The Undertaker, with The Undertaker not answering to Cena's challenge. Even hours before WrestleMania, the question still loomed in the air as to whether The Undertaker will wrestle at Mania, presumably in his final match. With still the uncertainty of a match, Cena thought he would spend the night as a fan, sitting in the front row. As the hours went by, it seemed less and less likely The Undertaker would show up. That's until Cena was informed Taker is here, and took no time zooming up the ramp. In a massive swerve, however, it wasn't the dead man who showed up. It was Elias, who seemingly trolled the whole WWE universe by being the last person to show up during this match. After Cena made short work of him and walked back to the dressing room in disappointment, the lights went down and Taker would make his appearance, thankfully not as the rumoured biker, but as the dead man, and shockingly making short work of Cena in what was seemingly a squash match. The shortest match Cena's ever had at WrestleMania, defeated in 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Bray Wyatt allies with Matt Hardy. Both Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt have recently been in a huge feud together, with Hardy promising he will delete Bray Wyatt in an ultimate deletion. Well, he did just that, supposedly deleting Wyatt for good. However, during the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Matt Hardy was one of the few remaining wrestlers, along with Baron Corbin and Mojo Rawley. Hardy would almost be eliminated by the two, but suddenly, the lights went out. When they turned back on, Bray Wyatt was standing in the ring. Was he gonna cost Matt Hardy the match in a return for deleting him? Nope. Wyatt would instead help Hardy by assisting him with Baron Corbin's elimination. For a brief moment, we thought that Wyatt had in fact joined the Battle Royal for an opportunity to win it, but the referee would call the bell and announce Hardy as the winner. The two would embrace with a hug, cementing Wyatt's allegiance to Hardy. Is this the start of a new tag team? Braun Strowman's partner was a random kid from the audience. There aren't many moments in WWE that leave you speechless, but for all the wrong reasons. Weeks on end, we had so many rumoured names who could have potentially been Braun Strowman's mystery WrestleMania partner. The WWE did an excellent job of keeping it under wraps by not dropping any hints and having dirt sheets run wild with speculation, dropping all sorts of names. Rey Mysterio, Big Cass, Bray Wyatt, The Big Show, these were just some of the names thrown out there, but that's not what we got, and it was one of the most bizarre choices in WrestleMania history. The match would already start on an odd note, with Cesaro and Sheamus both coming out on a float. At this point, Strowman had still not revealed who his partner was. He then addressed the crowd, telling them that anyone in the audience could be his partner for tonight. What we thought was pandering or just simply time wasting turned out to be a massive swerve, as fans were shocked when Braun went through the audience and picked a 10-year-old boy called Nicholas to be his partner. Even more shocking was the pair winning the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have our new Raw Tag Team Champions. Braun Strowman and a kid from Row F. Unbelievable. Lesnar has re-signed with WWE. With Brock Lesnar's contract coming to an end after WrestleMania, it was heavily rumoured and teased that he was going to put WWE behind him and return to UFC. Fans were so confident that the rumours were true that even before the match had started, it was a full-blown conclusion that Reigns was going to win and declared the new Universal Champion, since it seemed impossible that Vince would let Brock be champion on his way out. With such a predictable main event, fans tuned off completely. From boring to "we want Nicholas" chants, the crowd impatiently waited for Reigns to do his usual spiel of hulking up after a severe beatdown and getting the win. 4 F5s couldn't get the job done, as the fans grew even more tiresome. But in a shocking turn of events, Lesnar would hit his final F5, getting the 1-2-3 and retaining the Universal Championship. What did this mean? Did Lesnar re-sign with WWE in secret? Will he perform in both UFC and WWE? Will he drop the belt on Raw? We hope to find out the answers to these questions in tonight's Raw. And number 1, the longest undefeated streak in WWE history is over. What is it about the Superdome and streaks being broken? Not so long ago, Brock Lesnar ended undoubtedly at the time WWE's most famous ongoing streak, The Undertaker's undefeated WrestleMania record. At WrestleMania 34, history would kind of repeat itself, with Asuka's 514 days of dominance being undefeated finally coming to an end. In the second match of the main show, fans were stunned as the self-proclaimed Queen of Wrestling Charlotte Flair defeated Empress Asuka, retaining her SmackDown Women's Championship. After the match, Asuka, who was in total disbelief, grabbed the mic stating Charlotte was ready for Asuka, before breaking down and embracing each other in the ring to an emotional finish and undeniably a memorable WrestleMania moment. Well guys, that was some shocking moments and surprises we got at WrestleMania 34. Let us know what you thought of WrestleMania in the comments down below. And what was your favourite moment? As always, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.